This episode of the NBAUS Cast is dedicated to my cousin Michael, gone but never forgotten. Rest in peace, Pickle. Welcome back to the NBAUS Cast. I'm your host, Cade McKenzie, and it's a pleasure to finally be back recording another episode. After almost 7 to 8 weeks of not having an episode released, it's great to be back. Quick wrap up of where I've been. I actually spent 6 weeks travelling the USA on holidays, did a few tours, went to plenty of basketball games, finally got to see my Miami Heat play in person, which was amazing. So that explains where I've been. So I do apologise for the break, but let's get right into it with the argument, the debate that everyone's been waiting for. LeBron versus Jordan. Who is the GOAT? Now, let me preface this debate by stating I'm 24 years old. I've grown up watching LeBron my whole life, always been a huge LeBron fan, and think he's the best player of my generation. But is he the greatest ever when you're comparing him to the likes of Michael Jordan? Let's get into it. Now, with LeBron coming out of high school as dubbed the chosen one, and having some of his high school games even aired on ESPN, there was a lot of hype around him coming up as people thinking, could he be the next best? Now, in terms of the hype coming out of high school, I do believe LeBron has definitely lived up to the hype. He's had an amazing 17th season career at the moment, barely ever gets injured, and has always been one of the best players in the league. Even as a rookie, he came out and exploded. Now, one of the biggest things that works in LeBron's favour in this argument is his longevity and accumulation of stats. The man has piled up so many stats where he's going to be maybe top 3, even number 1 maybe in all-time points when he's finished his career, if he can stay healthy. He'll be top 10 in assists, at least top 20 in rebounding. The man has had an amazing career. Also longevity, 8 straight finals. Incredible. The dude is an absolute beast. Obviously, drafted in 2003 all the way to 2009. Didn't have the strongest team. He was on the Cleveland Cavaliers with an owner that he never really saw eye to eye with and never put much talent around him. Yet was able to still lead them to an NBA championship in 2007, where they faced off against the San Antonio Spurs, a far better team who absolutely dominated the Cavs. Swept them 4 straight games. Cavs never looked like winning. But LeBron did his best to get them there. Incredible playoff run, beating teams like the Pistons to get there. Incredible. Now, since then, what's happened? So he leaves the Cavaliers and goes and joins Miami Heat with, as you all know, my favourite team and my favourite player, Dwayne Wade, and also brings Chris Bosh into the equation. Now, Celtics did have a big 3, yet this was really dubbed the first super team where players have decided to go along and make their own squad to try and win some championships. This was all created by LeBron, which, as we all know, has changed the league forever. Going on to the Warriors with Durant, for another example. But getting back to that, he had a pretty successful 4 years, I guess you could say, going to 4 straight finals, winning 2 of them against the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs, but also losing to the Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks in the year 2000 when he made his first NBA championship run with the Miami Heat. Now, after losing to the San Antonio Spurs in 2013-14 finals, LeBron actually went back and rejoined the Cleveland Cavaliers to bring them their first championship in franchise history, something that he vowed to do coming into the league, bringing a title to his home city. So after rejoining the Cavs, he went to another 4 straight NBA finals, winning one of them. against the Golden State Warriors, 73-9 win team in what is one of the best finals comebacks ever. The only team to ever come back from 3-1, led by LeBron in his finals MVP performance. Absolutely incredible to watch. So, in all total, LeBron has been to 9 championships. 9 NBA finals. And how many championships has LeBron won? He's won 3. In the time that he went to 8 straight was when he won all 3. So, out of all the finals he goes to, he wins 33% of them. So, not the best. And this is why a lot of people have Michael Jordan ahead of LeBron, due to the fact that Michael has been to 6 NBA finals and has won all 6, and has 6 finals MVPs, being the best player every single finals. And that's something that's pretty hard to look by. And one of the biggest things I hear from people that are trying to prove that LeBron is the GOAT is the argument of, well, LeBron has better stats than Michael Jordan. And, well, that's fair enough. Let's have a look into it, why don't we? So, when you compare the stats with Michael Jordan, LeBron does average more rebounds per game. He averages more assists per game. They're pretty on par with blocks. But points, Michael Jordan's just a bit ahead of him. So you're comparing LeBron for his career, who averages 27, 7, and 7. Round figures. Jordan, 30, 6, and 5. So they're pretty much not that far different, except, one more rebound for LeBron and 2 more assists for LeBron, which in hindsight really isn't that much difference. Now, if you are going to go to the route of stats, well, let's compare LeBron with some modern day players. What really sets him apart from, let's say, a player like Russell Westbrook? So, LeBron has better stats than Jordan, so he must be the best player of all time. Has LeBron ever averaged a triple-double for a season? Has he ever done it consecutively in a season? People seem to forget that LeBron has not hit the last few years of his career yet, where his stats will dramatically decrease and will start to fall. So at the moment, Russell Westbrook, for instance, is averaging 24, 8, and 7 for his career. So more rebounds, same amount of assists, little less in points. So how is he really much better than Russell Westbrook? Now let's compare him to an all-time great. Let's say Wilt Chamberlain. LeBron has better stats than Jordan. He's the GOAT. Well, for his career, Wilt Chamberlain averaged 30 points per game. And that's including in a time where NBA didn't really generate much revenue or money for the players. And we all know what Wilt Chamberlain is famous for. Being in the limelight, sleeping with a lot of women. He would show up to games in just average clothes, get dressed on the sideline and run onto the court and play in his final years, as he just didn't really care. He was more worried about being in movies and being in Hollywood and trying to make money that way. And for his career, averaged more points than LeBron. But surely LeBron had more rebounds. With seven rebounds for his career, that's pretty good for a small forward. Well, Wilt Chamberlain averaged 23 rebounds per game for his career. Now, LeBron does beat him on assists because he averages more than 3 assists more. So, he's definitely better than Jordan still. But yet, Wilt smashes him in most stats. Now, Wilt doesn't have a career average in blocks due to how late it came into the league. But analysts actually predict if the blocks were measured in that point, Wilt, through his prime, would have averaged 14 blocks per game, which is a lot more than LeBron's less than 1 per game. So you can't say he's a better player than Wilt. And let's even go somewhat a bit further. Let's compare him to someone at the same time in his career. So let's say LeBron in his second season, was one of the best rookies, best sophomores ever. Let's compare him to Luka Doncic, who this season is pretty much averaging a 30-point triple-double. 30 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. So already in year 2, Luka Doncic is a better player than LeBron statistics-wise. So how can LeBron be better than Jordan when you're comparing stats? You can't. Well, let's go down the route of, if it's got rings, then that means Bill Russell's the GOAT because he has 11 and Jordan only has 6. Well, Jordan still has more than LeBron. So that really takes LeBron out of it as well because you're saying Bill Russell's also the GOAT compared to LeBron. So let me just debunk a bit more of this on why, as you've guessed it, Michael Jordan is the GOAT and not LeBron James. So the GOAT, it's accumulation of stats, accomplishments, and there's other things that people compare like clutch time and things like that, and who comes up big in those moments. So not only does Jordan have amazing stats, but he is a winner. 6 finals, 6 finals MVPs, 0 losses in the finals. And when we do actually compare LeBron and Michael Jordan's, awards and accomplishments, in less seasons than LeBron, he has more rings. He only has 1 less All-Star game than LeBron, in less seasons than LeBron. In less seasons than LeBron, he still has 1 more MVP. Now, LeBron has an amazing media and marketing team behind him. And that is one of the reasons why he's in this conversation to begin with. Because in reality, LeBron is fringe top 5 all time. And this is a big reason to why LeBron has all NBA defensive first team honors. In a few of his NBA all first team for defense, LeBron wasn't actually even in the top 20 in defensive efficiency in some of those years. Yet he was marketed and portrayed in a way that everyone was talking about how great of a defender he is, which then translated to him becoming in these all-NBA first teams. Yet he was never Defensive Player of the Year. Michael Jordan was. Michael Jordan also had more defensive first teams without the media having to push him into it. LeBron's, everyone says he's not a scorer, blah, blah, yet the man averages 27 points a game, so he's obviously been a scoring leader once, which is fantastic. Jordan's done it 10 times. 10 times. Steals leader, Jordan, 3 times. LeBron, 0. So Jordan is clearly not only a better defensive player, but a better scorer than LeBron, a better winner than LeBron. So in pretty much all assets, he's a better player than LeBron. Oh, but LeBron averaged 1 more rebound and 2 more assists, so that means he must be the GOAT. That is definitely not correct. Michael Jordan is quite clearly the greatest of all time when you combine his winning, his stats and accomplishments. And let's go clutch time. Jordan is one of the most clutch players ever in NBA history. Not only just taking the last shot or, finding the open man who gets a good look and makes a shot, but even the things like free throw percentage. LeBron James has one of the worst free throw percentages in clutch time. Less than 50%. That is horrendous. There's only one player worse at free throws in clutch time, and that is Shaquille O'Neal. So to be compared in free throw shooting to Shaquille O'Neal, you should automatically be disqualified from any clutch time conversations. Now, LeBron has hit some clutch shots, don't get me wrong. He's hit a lot. Almost as much as Jordan. But LeBron is scared of the free throw line. And when he doesn't take the last shot, one of the arguments made is he was trying to make the best play by kicking it out to an open player. Sorry for the mix-up. But did you know 66% of LeBron's assists come from players taking a shot in the last 4 seconds of the shot clock? Which means LeBron is dribbling the ball out, getting to the final few seconds and forcing his teammates to make or miss. So either they make it and LeBron has the right play, they miss, and it's not LeBron's fault. This is how it's portrayed. So LeBron's passing stats aren't really as great as what people make them out to be when you consider the corner that he pins his teammates into and forces them to make those shots. Now, I want to get back to the finals a little bit as well, talking about clutch. LeBron's first ever finals with the Miami Heat in 2010 against the Dallas Mavericks. The famous when the chosen one became the frozen one. Michael Jordan never had a meltdown in the finals like LeBron did that year. LeBron, against that Dallas Mavericks team, looked like a player who did not even want to be there. He looked scared of the moment. He came up so small. He was barely scoring in the fourth quarter, not helping his team win, considering they were the favourites by a landslide. They had 3 of the top 10 players in the league playing against an aging Dirk. You know, he wasn't old yet, but he was getting there, with a supporting cast that was not in their prime anymore. And they still got walloped by the Dallas Mavericks. One of the biggest meltdowns in finals history. Jordan never had that. And another argument I hear about the finals is, well, Michael Jordan never won until Scottie Pippen, came up the ranks and he got Scottie, and that's when he started winning. Okay, well, so you're telling me Michael Jordan, who had a career 15-point player as his second best player, is compared to LeBron, who created the first super team, has had the most MVP and all-star teammates on his rosters in the years that he went to the 8 straight finals. Yet LeBron has no help. And Jordan had Scottie Pippen. But yet LeBron has had super team after super team. He had an aging D Wade and an ill Bosh in his last season with the Heat. So he goes to a younger Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, makes another super team, wins 1 out of 4 because he's making a super team culture, and that's where obviously the Warriors come across. Due to these super teams is another reason why LeBron's stats are so amazing, because he can't get double teamed. If you go and double team LeBron, you leave Wade open, you leave Bosh open, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, you leave all these players open, and LeBron's just going to destroy you with passing. Yet Michael Jordan, in an era where in all his finals never had a teammate average more than at least 20 points a game, Jordan had to literally carry the offense on his back and still never lost a championship. I would love to hear people's thoughts on why they think LeBron is somehow the greatest of all time, when maybe in another episode I'll discuss why he's barely top 5. Michael Jordan is clearly the greatest player in NBA history, and for LeBron to catch him, if he actually can, is going to be incredibly hard. Thank you for listening. You can follow me on all my socials, which will be in the links. If you want to discuss, feel free. If not, I'll see you on the next episode.